Hello everyone, this is Robin Carter and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I'm here to share my last set of alternatives using the Meaningful Flowers August 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. Before I get started, I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I did surpass the 2,000, so I want to thank those new subscribers, but also those that have been with me from the beginning. Thank you so much and showing me your support by subscribing to my channel. So I want to get started with my last video. If you missed any of my previous three, also the unboxing, you can find those in my channel. Just click on videos and you will see all the videos that I have done, with the last ones being this Meaningful Flowers, as well as any others with previous kits or stamp sets. So feel free to browse through there and you might see something that interests you. So I want to start today by using the card that I did for the Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hop. So that went live on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. So I wanted to just show those real quick. They're real simple cards. So here is a basic card that you can do with no additional supplies other than the card base, a trimmer, and some inks to stamp your flower. So I did stamp the flower included with our set, as well as the lily pad, and I cut the base in half. So here is a base that you have, and it's meant for the meaning to go on the back, but I wanted to highlight the meaning, so I simply just cut it off in half, and then I'm going to use this as a background layer. You can see right there. So very simple alternative. But then I thought, okay, I'm not really a basic kind of girl. I love to jazz up my cards. So I got out one of my beloved dies called the Scalloped Contour dies. And I don't have the number on that yet. I'm working on updating all my stuff with the item number. But I can show you in the annual catalog where those are. And those are on page 166, right up here at the top. And the item number is 155560. So 3 5s there. And those you can purchase from the online store if you do not already have those. Now these have 2 dies in it which coordinate with the color and contour stamp set, which I have right here. And I've done a class on this kit before, and I have the videos on my channel if you're interested in seeing those. So I just thought I would show you that these 2 do not go, but the other dies are so fabulous that it's worth adding to your collection. So I thought I would just make this card really quick with you. I also embossed this more detailed one here with the basics 3D. There's a set of 3 that comes with this, and the item number for all 3 is 161598. These came out under the online exclusive products back in the spring. So these are some of my favorites I use as well. All right, so this one's going to come together real quick because I've already die cut this, and I did use the largest die here because the next one's down cut off the words, so I couldn't go any smaller than that one to get the scallop. All right, so as you can see here, I did cut out the center of this, and I can show you the card I made using the center of this base design. All right, so first I need to find out, okay, it looks like this is the biggest side. Now I did just trim this down maybe a 1/16 of an inch, just so it wouldn't hang off my card front. And I did refill my Tombow multi-purpose glue from the last time. It was running low if you watched any of those. So it is super full now. All right, so I just put some Tombow multi-purpose glue dots around. Okay, and then we're going to adhere this. Now I've already pre-embossed this. I think you can see it with that 3D embossing folder. I know my last video was much longer than normal. I try to keep it 30 minutes, but I wanted to make some of those things with you so you knew how I made them. So if you watched that whole thing, thanks for sticking around for that. Now, as I said, I did cut this off, and I'll show you that in a minute. I wanted to show you an alternate for if you don't want to stamp the flower. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of this die. I thought it was super, super plain, but I found that if I cut it off, I can do some dimensionals and make it a little more interesting. The only thing is, if I do this, it's going to cover up my spot for my sentiment. But since it gives the meaning of the flower, you could not put that and maybe put that on the inside of the card. But let me put this up on, well, so that's just an alternate, okay, is if you don't like this flower because you like a little more dimension with that. Let me just show you if you have a little dimension. It puts that shadow under it. I don't have a small one, so it would be kind of like this. And you could even tuck that little one under as well. And I think that makes it much more interesting than this flat flower. But I'm going to use this on my next card, and you can see that as well. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the meaning directly on there. Now, I did use Starry Sky, so let me grab that ink pad. It's here in front of me. Okay, and I hope I moved my microphone to a different spot, and I'm hoping it picks up better. Sometimes I notice I kind of drop off. So I wanted, and plus it would get more things when I put it on the table. So I now have it up with my camera. Now I'm going to try to get this straight without getting my head too much in the camera. Okay, so I did, like I said, I did use Starry Sky for a darker color on that. I don't think I told you too, when you're lining up your die, you'll want to cut it off here to save a lot of that ombre effect. All right, so there's that. Let me clean off my stamp. And at the end, I'll give you another preview of the September kit, all the hints they gave us for that. So stick around till the end for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here. I don't think you need to see me stamp any more lotuses. I've done that. I've shown you quite a few lotuses in my videos. And I do cut these in half. I need to get my scissors out and run it up the top. Okay, but I still put quite a few around. For big images like this, I like to do all around the edges, especially the long side. And then for support of the center, I put kind of between the two here. And even though that looks like a lot of dimensionals, 3, 6, 8, I really only used 4 whole dimensionals since I cut them in half. All right, so let's peel off these backings. I cleared off my desk more so that hopefully I wouldn't have things go missing. Oh, can't get my nail under that one. A lot of people like to use their take your pick tool, but I have nice, strong, natural nails that I don't paint because I would have to paint them over every day. All right, so let's gonna put this in the center, and I hope it's centered with my head. And so later I can go back and add the lotus. Now let me show you what I did for little embellishments. So there are 2 packs of enamel effects available, and this is the pearlized effects, and its item number is 156310. And I used this pinkish one here, and I thought it matched really well. So these, you can have embellishments for years with these, as well as, and I like this because it has a copper. This is the metallic enamel effects, and it's 161610. And so you just hold them over, and you can squeeze and get it as small or big as you want. One good thing is they do pretty much pluck off. If it takes off any paper, you can just add yours right back over that. Okay, so that shows you the basics of this one I did for the Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hop. And that there is a post on my website about that one. And by the way, just so you know, I do all my videos first on YouTube. So that's a benefit of subscribing, is that you will, subscribing to my YouTube channel, is you will get the first look at any of my alternates. Okay, so the second piece we haven't used yet, if you've been following my alternates, is this piece. Now, I really didn't add much to this. It's another simple alternate. Usually my last ones are the simplest. But if you remember the little frog from February of 2023 Paper Pumpkin, I added him here. Now, I was having trouble finding a color that would look good, and he is done in Lost Lagoon. So if you're looking for I thought he looked too blue with the pretty peacock, but I did Lost Lagoon, and it gives him just enough green that he looks like more like a real frog. So as you can see, I did stamp another lotus. Now this is the one, since I haven't used any of these, I wanted to use some. I thought, you know what, I'm going to use the flower here, but I'm going to put it on dimensionals. So, but I don't like that that's a slightly different color. So, you know what, I wonder if we got our pretty peacock. I'm kind of going on the fly here, and went over that with more of a pretty peacock, how it looks. So let's give that a try. You can see how I come up with stuff. All right, I think I used this for pretty peacock. This may turn into a disaster, but you know what? We're gonna learn something together. Okay, I'm gonna get my large pad just so I can do some smoothing. Now I don't have, you know what, I need to get a block. So I would have done this on my Tim Holtz multimedia glass platform, but here's an alternate. So I save all these extra little blocks you get when you get kits so that I can swirl off the ink. I need to not lean on my table. Let's try on this little one first, how he looks. Oops. All right, let's compare that. Oh, that's really close. All right, so let's do the big one now that we see that works. And I'm using one of the small blending brushes. Let's see. Oh, he looks much closer to the card front. All right, so I like that. I didn't compare those before I decided to use that on this one. But now I think it looks a lot better, or closer. All right, so I'm going to adhere the lily pad flat. A little embellishment that I keep in my medicine bottles. By the way, if you want a cheap thing to hold your glue upside down, I use empty medicine bottles. I did put some trinkets that I had in there to help weigh it down. All right, and so this I'm going to put over and then I think I am going to go ahead and put that, I'll tuck him in at the end. So I'm going to put this flower on dimensionals to give him a little more definition. Now I also thought about sacrificing another lily and cutting out the center to give it a double layer. And that's an option. I'm not going to do that today on the video. Here's some scraps. So I always use the scraps too because I've lost where I put my big one, but I'll just start a new sheet. Oh, there they are. I did lose something after all. I didn't put it where they belong. So how is the sound? Is it any different? Is it the same? Is it good enough? It's now up by where my camera is, off of my table, not sitting on something. So I'm just going to put 4 halves on there. All right, and then let's see if a dimensional hits that. I'm going to try to move it over there. Okay, now that I like so much better with that on dimensionals and cut away from one big blob. So there's an alternate for you of my alternate. So you can just adhere this to a card front and then pick your sentiment of choosing. A good place would be right up here along the top. And then, of course, we will add some kind of embellishments, either the ones that came or these were the, I can't think of the name of them. Let me see. Oh, opal rounds. I don't know if those are retired or not. I may have got them if they did go on sale, I may have picked some up there. But another thing you could do to dress this up, which I made you, is add a background layer color, maybe in the Melon Mambo to bring that out, or just a pretty peacock to bring that out. So there's some options you can do to jazz this card up. And I think we have 4 of these, so you can make 4 of those. Okay, so let me put these. By the way, if you're new to my channel, these are 5x7 envelopes that I call my favorite things. I have a whole list in my description box of this video. There's also a post on my blog. It's kind of hard to find, especially if you're on a mobile device. You would click at the top. I have it highlighted with where my about is, and then there's a thing called favorite things. But these are the 5x7 envelopes that I store my components of my cards for until I put them in their plastic sleeve to keep ink off of them and to help keep them organized. I also love these 7x9 envelopes. So they hold all the paper pumpkin components. So then you can don't have to keep up with the box. You can recycle or repurpose it right away. And you can store your elements while you're working on it. And if you keep anything, they are nice thin storage. And these are the 7x9 that are in my list of my favorite things. They're also good to hold my pre-cut card bases. And so I have those in one as well. If you like the Memories and More cards and envelopes, it will hold those things too. But let's get on to my next alternate. Okay, this is my last one. So we haven't used the vellum piece yet. And so I have 2 pre-made for you, a little different. And this one I used the large, so we have this piece left that we need to use. And I haven't used the large lotus flower, but I thought this was a great opportunity to do that. So as you can see, this one I just did the vellum. This one I put a layer of Orchid Oasis around there, which I think I want to do. And I also use the Painted Textures Embossing folder. And it is right here. It's one of my favorites. It's supposed to look like a textured wall, but I think it also does kind of look like water that's not smooth. And so the item number for it is here, 154317. And then I brought in some additional dies, some of my new favorites. And these are called the, my voice is kind of cracking on me, Nested Essentials. And as you know, I like to pre-cut some dies. And these are the 3x5 envelopes that are part of my favorite things. And that way I already have some ready to go when I'm ready to use those dies. So let's get started. And I do want to put, I really like the layer of Orchid Oasis. So let's cut a layer of that. I should have thought to pre-do that. You know what, let's see. This is going to be really skimpy. I don't think that's going to work. No, that's going to show. Because I wanted to use vellum on this one, so that would show terribly. All right, let me grab my Orchid Oasis. Now, I store all my colors in hanging file folders. And I really want to put my scraps in those envelopes as well, but I haven't done that. So I need a full piece. And then I do have the Alex drawers from IKEA, and I keep all my current colors in these hanging file folders right beside my desk. I think I may show that in when I do my video of my craft room. Now I did that long time ago. I need to go back through and organize things a little better. They've kind of gone astray. All right, so I have a piece of Orchid Oasis, and I want to do my card base. I'm going to do it just a hair shorter. So the shortest lines on your trimmer, which I hope I'm not in there, I'm going to go just one right of the 4 1/4. It's funny because I was getting ready for this video and all of a sudden I came down with a hiccup. So I had some sips and waited a little bit and they went away. So on this side, I'm going to do 1 notch, which is, what is that, 7/16 there. Okay, so there's our layer piece. Now, since I decided on this 3rd card, I like to make all kinds of alternates. Let me put these here. That I wanted to use a vellum piece. And let me see how that looks, if I like it. See how vellum kind of just gets a little cracking when you do that? Let's see if I like it. I thought I would try. Now, I kind of like that. So we're going to go with that for this alternate. Did I do those the same size? I pretty much did. All right, so when I adhere this down, I'm going to do it where the flower would go about and where maybe the label and stuff will hide it. So I've found that the glue dots we get with our paper pumpkin kits, they work really well at not showing so much under the vellum. So I'm going to grab a strip of those. I keep all those little things in little containers, so they're handy. And then your take your pick tool is the best thing for this. Now I keep the putty end off mine and I just use it like it is. Without putting it back on my handle because I find I twist it and waste putty. So let's just put some around there. And we'll do some down at the bottom. Okay, so let's take all the backings off. Like I said, I like doing stuff on the fly and making different alternates in case you like one better than the other. All right, so let's put this on the front. Okay, and then we have our vellum piece that came in our kit, and I'm going to put it down here as well. They gave us little tear and tape. Let me see if I want to use that this time. Again, I have what's left of my kit here as well. Let's try the little tear and tape they gave us since we have that. It's a real thin piece. Find where it starts. So I like to put it on there. I just use my fingernail to cut it. I hope this doesn't show a lot. All right, and then across the bottom. Okay. Let's tear it off. Actually, what I like to do first with this is like take something. You could use a bone folder. I had just had my scissors here, so I used it to burnish it down so it doesn't come off. I'm going to put my tool back where I'll know where it is. Okay, and then let's adhere this down. I'm trying to get it centered best I can. Okay, so then I have my large flower here, and then my sentiment's going to really pop. So I can show you on this one. I did a splatter stamp, and this we have several splatter stamps that we've even gotten with paper pumpkin. And then this one I put a lot of those little embellishments from the enamel bottles that I showed earlier. So I think I have a pre-done label, a couple different ones, and I want to show you how I got this. So this is from the stamp set called Wonderful Thoughts. And so it has this nice sentiment. You're wonderful, you're loved, and you matter. And it's one long stamp like that. So what I did is I just held this up to my ink pad and did the You're Wonderful. Now you could put tape on this to mask it so it doesn't get inked up, but I found I was able just to ink it up with my ink pad, did that, and then I did the other part and put that there. That way it would fit on this card. Now this is the large one like I used here, and this is the smaller one. I think I'm going to go with the smaller one for this one, and of course I'm going to put it up on dimensionals. Now this one I did wrap some Orchid Oasis ribbon around to give it some more interest as well, but since it only showed a little bit, I left it off of that one. So let's go back to dimensionals and get a few of those for this label. So which one is your favorite? This one especially is quite different, but I thought it gave it an interesting look. If you wanted it to be white with the vellum, you could have done another layer of white. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm also going to put the flower up on dimensionals. I go through quite a few dimensionals. It's just such a affordable way to really dress up your cards. It gives it that little shadow effect. And dimension. Okay, there we go. And then I will go back in and decide of some kind of embellishment to go on this. Now it's not on my card base yet, so that's going to layer on like that. So which of these, now granted these two are very similar. This is with splatter, this is with the enamel glue, bottles, and this is with vellum over Orchid Oasis. So let me know which one is your favorite, and I think that's my 3 alternatives, which uses all the supplies. So like I said, if you didn't have extra Orchid Oasis, you could use this. I already have it, but oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. On the other card, I cut out the center of the Orchid Oasis and I made this. Now I used those masks that I used in my previous video. This one right here, and to make the background of this one. So it's a little busy, I know, but I like that. So it shows you can use your stamps over and over, and this is the pot that we got with our June paper pumpkin kit. So I like bringing in all the products so you can see. Okay, now one other thing I did is I go back and I make other alternates. So this is with that background where I put the sun and the clouds. And this time I just did a simple thing. I took my deckled rectangles, which you could use the deckleds on the other card that I used the contour dies, and I cut out with the second largest one there, and then just put that up on dimensionals. I don't know if you can see that. And so then these flowers come from the Regency Park, and I did do a little embossing with the star-like part to try to get it white, kind of like I saw that Forget-Me-Nots are. And I added this butterfly, which is from a paper pumpkin kit stamp set called Flora and Flutter. And then this Sympathy, I love this stamp set. Thank you, Rachel Desmond, for inspiring this one. but it's one of my favorite go-tos for sentiments. Oh, no, this is not it. I've thought about doing sending hugs. This one is from a really old paper pumpkin kit, like from 2015. So I love that as well. It looked much like Rachel's inspired stamps. And then one of my new favorite ribbons is this. And the only thing that could make it better was if it was braided on both sides. Let me grab that. So you get this nice pretty row. It's easy to work with. And it is called Inner Braid Ribbon. It's 3/8 of an inch wide. And the item number for it is 161638. So it's a beautiful ribbon, as well as I've used this one a lot too. The bordered ribbon. So grab some ribbon to add to your cards. It really gives it an extra touch as well. Now these were pearls that I colored using the Stampin' Blends markers, our alcohol markers. And I was able to use Misty Moonlight to coordinate with the rest of the card. So that just shows you that I do keep working, trying to improve what I made before, so that if you don't like the other alternatives, this may be an idea for you. So now let's look at the preview for the September paper pumpkin. Let me switch my screen as soon as I find it. Okay, so here is the sneak peek for the September paper pumpkin kit. It is inspired by the founder, Shelley, and any kits that she's ever done have been beautiful. And I like how they give us a big hint of the envelopes, the die cuts, and the stamps. Now, as you notice, these envelopes are not our usual A2 cards, but I can tell by looking at the envelope that I'm going to be able to cut these up and turn those into regular size cards if that's something that interests you more. Also, there is on the right here is a journal that they said was an add-on. Now, it has nothing to do with the cards or kits. They just added a journal with this pretty cover. Last I heard, these were low in stock. So if you're really wanting to get this journal, the item number is 163270, and you can grab that up. So let me get me back to me. Okay, I'm back with you here. So I do have a host code here that ends on September 7th, and the new mini catalog starts on September 6th. Now I hope to go through the catalog and have a video that will post on the 6th, highlighting things in the catalog that you may miss or some of my favorite things. So be looking for that video. And then, like I said, you can start ordering from that mini catalog on September 6th. I could only show the cover, and I've showed the cover before, so I don't need to do that. But thanks for joining me today. Again, thank you for those subscribers who have gotten me to 2,000, and for those of you that have been with me since the beginning. So until my next video, I hope you've enjoyed your kit. I will go through and finish all mine to begin getting ready for the next kit. So I hope you've enjoyed all these alternatives. Give me a thumbs up and share this with your other paper crafting friends. Bye-bye.